one of the special things was, like any other boy, they say that there's 3 stages between a father and a son. Your dad is your hero, then you demonize him, and then you sort of get back to sort of say, you know what, you're right, what was really going on. So it was one of those stages when it was like, you're right, and we had a few sort of like sort of clashes in what and how I wanted to go about what I wanted to do, thinking that I know everything. I'm a teenager now. And after a while, we haven't had spoken. I was called out for the Springbok squad, and we played against Scotland. My first Springbok jersey, I remember giving it to him, and he just welled up. And I remember, like, it was yesterday when we just hugged and we just sit there, just quiet moments. And it was someone who was an All Black fan because of what the past was.
Of course.
And all of a sudden, his son was bringing a Springbok jersey to him. So that was a special moment I'll always treasure.
Sure. That was an incredible story you just shared there with us. Can I ask what was that moment like when you gave him the Springbok jersey?
I mean, you know, my dad is, he never tried to live vicariously through me. He let me do what I was doing. My mom will always tell me how proud he is about my achievements in the game, me playing. He was very fond of the fact I captained Border under 17, and he used to just scream Border, and that was like what it was, Basil Canyon heaving, and then just he would talk a lot and be very loud to his mates, but to me he was just like, nothing happened, you know. It was just like, I remember I was so nervous before games. I mean, playing first team, and he was driving me around, taking me to the games, and I could sense that he was nervous, but it's the way that he postured. He always seemed like quietly confident, like nothing has happened, my boy. We're here to dominate. And it was such support and something that, yes, it was great to go to Rondebosch and play there, but I sometimes like sort of feel for him because he didn't get to see me every weekend.
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah, I am that kind of guy.
and Bob, I tell you what, and I told you this morning, you know, we've also learned about all of this. Actually, we're just 3 guys here trying to make it in life.
Sure.
Raise our kids, play our role in a better South Africa.
Yeah.
In a very innocent way, you know.
Yeah.
We always judge people when they walk around sometimes, but we're all just trying to sort of play our role, give it a positive, leave it better than what we found it at, make the differences where we can. The same for this podcast, you know.
Sure.
This podcast is not a commercial venture where we are sitting and going, oh, it's so wonderful to... It's moments like this that just reiterates to me, we have to tell more stories because it changes everything. You know, if you think about the importance and dynamics of the role that a father plays in a kid's role.
Yeah.
And how you still had that opportunity. And I can somehow visualize this for your dad and sorry that he saw what you've achieved at such a young age.
Yeah.
I have no doubt when he left this world, he had all the confidence in the world that his son will make something of his life.
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece you can ever find as a parent.
Albert, you seem like as if you were there. So I retire in 2011. I come back home, and for about a month, not knowing what I'm going to do, I stay with my dad and I sit with him just every day, just sitting there, just having that quiet time, comfortable quietness of just want to be here. I haven't been around. I haven't been at home for a while. And things were not going well for him. His businesses were getting torn apart. The taxman was at him. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Were you sorry?" And he says, "Yeah, no, things are not the way they used to be." I said, "Dad, you can never be sorry to me. You've raised 4 kids. You've given us education, given us an opportunity. I love you. I appreciate you for everything you have done." And I moved back to Joburg. I started to pursue broadcasting with SuperSport, coaching, had my coaching levels done in Newcastle when I was there. And mom gives me a call and says, your dad is not doing well. So I was like, no, I'm not going to entertain this. I'm going to have to push. I have to be strong. I have to push. My dad won't want me to be sort of coming around and sort of have giving him that sort of, oh, sorry, look at you now type of thing. And then my cousin called me and he was like, you need to come home, like yesterday. So I flew down, went to go see my dad in the hospital, and my mom was just hysterical, and she was like, this guy hasn't said anything. I'm not too sure what's going on. I mean, how can he do this to us? So I said, no, mom, just let me have a chat. And he's like, yeah, speak to your dad. So I'm like, dad. And he hadn't shown any reaction for like a week. And he sort of blinkered, looked at me. And after that, he was like, no, everything is fine. He's here now. And that was our last sort of like interaction. And that gave me confidence. At the same time, I had a bit of peace because he waited for me, which is in a selfish way. He waited for me. And for that, I'm always reminded of what is important, you know. I always say, people will always say, no, you're so humble, you got humility. And I'm like, but we are raised by great people. The only thing we can do is trying to be great. And that man taught me who I am, and I know who I am.